Congratulations. Obviously, it's all official. The dream is true in the UFC. What's the emotion like for you right now?
Pretty surreal, to be honest, mate. I feel like I'm gonna wake up and I'm having a dream. You know, it's one of them. But yeah, I'm gassed, mate. I feel pretty ill as well, to be honest. When I was sat in that chair waiting, I was like, I'm gonna throw up. And he was like, you got the contract. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
You addressed it, the weight issue. You said, look, it's never happened again, won't happen. But I guess, can you just walk us through what did happen? It seemed like kind of a weird series of circumstances.
Yeah, there's no excuse for not making weight. Like, it's never happened before and it'll never happen again. You know, I can say loads of things. You know, I've never travelled this far to fight before. Obviously, fighting like 12 hours in 2 flights to get here, making your whole water and all that. And I come into fight week heavier than I ever have been. And then when I was doing the weight cut, like maybe 2 hours in, I just got ill and stopped sweating. So like, throwing up. My heart rate was through the roof, and then once, obviously, like your body gets like anxious, you just stop sweating. So then there were like a 5-hour gap where I didn't sweat, and obviously your head's going. Then you're like, oh, I can't sweat. What am I gonna do? And then by the time we got where the weight were coming off again, I didn't have long enough to make it, and I literally did everything I could. We missed by water at like 2 pounds at first, and then I had an hour extra, and I sat in the sauna for an hour straight. Literally sat there sweating, chewing pieces of ice, and we missed by like less than half a pound. So it is what it is, but it'll never happen again.
How challenging was the last 36 hours or so, right? Because you don't necessarily know if that means that Dana is going to say, well, you just can't get in no matter what you do.
Yeah. I knew at that point I have got to put in a serious performance here. Like I've got to show him how good I am, and I need to be undeniable in my performance. And to be honest, I didn't feel like I had the best performance, but you know that don't matter. I got it, and now I can show how good I really am.
Yeah. Stylistically, a very unique opponent, right? Yeah. Kind of challenging to look good against. I mean, how difficult was the challenge? I'm sure you expected to be in a Ryan Hall protege. You're going to see that, but how difficult was that to deal with tonight?
Yeah, he just had an awkward style. Like I knew we were going to be awkward coming into it, but like I struggled to find his timing, and when I was trying to bait him out to go, and he didn't go, and then he went when I didn't think he was going to go, and he sort of, the way he got into the clinch were weird. He didn't like have an entry. He sort of just like made the fight messy and ended up in a good position for him. But yeah, you know, I've come from a striking background, but I've been doing jiu-jitsu for like almost 10 years now, so I'm always ready for what's going to go down on the ground. And when he were attacking my legs, I knew all I had to do was, you know, just clear his feet, clear his knees, and get out of there, and I'd be all right. So there was no point I was panicking in the fight.
Yeah, any close moments on those? I mean, obviously those leg locks can be just a fraction of an inch. Were there any close moments?
One of them felt a bit tight, but like not really. I never felt like I were in trouble until I just sat down out there, and I felt one of my knees feels a bit weird, to be honest. My right knee don't feel great right now, but you know, I never felt in trouble.
Nice. Like I said, kind of back and forth, but the finishing sequence, like, did you know right then, like, this is the moment to finish it? Did you realize you had him hurt right away?
Yeah, I hit him to the body, and I saw him quit in his face. You know, I saw him go, I don't want this anymore. He turned away a little bit, and then I knew I've just got to put it on him now.
Nice. Last thing for me, I mean, obviously you're going to want to soak this in, enjoy it, get back home, I'm sure, but what's the plan? Now it's time for a UFC debut. Do you try to turn around quick? What's the idea for you?
I'd need to speak with my team about it, really. You know, it's Manchester top team. We're all in this together, and I need to speak with my coach and my other training partners and see what they think, and we'll get a plan together. So we'll see.
And I'm just down here. When you were cutting weight and feeling sick, when did you start to feel better? Was there ever a moment where you're like, fuck, if I keep getting worse, I might have to pull out of this fight if I feel much sicker?
I mean, like my coach said, if it wasn't this opportunity, I wouldn't have fought. That's how it goes, you know what I mean? But when you've got this one opportunity now to show the world how good you are, I feel like I want to start singing an song. You've got to get through it. These things happen. It's fighting. You never come in at 100%. You always come in like 60%. There's always some little injury or something that goes wrong. I think I might have broke my toe as well on fight week, hitting pads like through like a stabbing teep. That's why it took me a while to get going with my right kick. I hurt my toe. Like when I got here, I did my first session, jammed my toe on the pads, and then I haven't been able to do anything for the rest of the week. So that's like another thing where you're not losing that extra bit of weight. But then you just get on with it. That's it. you get on with it.
The only part of you a little bit bitter that you were throwing up, but still not throwing up enough to actually get down to weight?
Yeah, you know, but there's always swings and roundabouts. It's fighting. It's not an easy thing. You just got to get through these things. This is where your mental toughness comes into it.
I'm sure, looking as you said, you were sitting there. You're not sure if the weight thing's going to screw you out of the contract. To get the contract, in a little sense, you were going to be delighted, whatever. But to get it with this circumstance and still pull off the performance you did to get the contract, is a part of you almost feeling a bit like, man, I got away with this one, and that means I've got to make the next one count, and I'm going to come back at this even more passionate than I perhaps was going to?
Yeah, I mean, I would have done anyway, no matter what. So it don't make a difference to me. But yeah, I understand your point. Yeah, definitely, I've got to go upper level again, which I don't think I'll have trouble doing.
Congratulations, mate.
Louis over here, to your left. Congrats on the win. Obviously, you mentioned your opponent's style and approach to the fight tonight. You showed a lot of patience inside there before getting him out of there late in the fight. So I know a lot of guys envision wanting to have that, first round knockout, first round submission. But do you think a performance like this, where you show the patience to deal with a style like his tonight, kind of potentially even shows more to the matchmakers in situations like this?
What's the question again? Sorry.
Like, do you think you showing your patience inside the cage before doing what you did kind of shows even more to the matchmakers?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually thought about it like that. I was just like, I didn't get him out there in the first, but it doesn't always go that way. A lot of the time it doesn't go that way, but you're on this stage and you want to get the sickest knockout anyone's ever had on Dana White's Contender Series, but we got him out of there, so that's what fighting is. You're working out his timing. Where can I get him? Where's he open? What doesn't he like that I hit him with? And I got there in the third.
For sure. Obviously, Manchester top team. Lerone Murphy was on the pre-fight build-up video, and obviously we just saw what he did to Aaron Pico in Chicago. So what are the vibes like right now in Manchester top team?
Oh, it's going off, mate. This is only the start as well. This is only the start. Lerone's going to be champion. I have no doubt Lerone will be champion. I have no doubt Atiba Gauthier is going to be champion. I believe I'm going to be champion, so I think there's a big wave coming out of Manchester.
Obviously, Atiba was here tonight, and I saw you guys two embrace when you were walking out of the cage. What words were exchanged there?
Just well done and a hug, bro. But like a couple of years ago, me and Atiba were living in a shed in the back of the gym. Because I'm not from Manchester, I'm from Leeds, so it's like a bit of a commute to get over there. Obviously, Atiba's from Cameroon, and we had there's just like a porter cabin. I don't know what you'd call that in America, like like an office you'd have on a building site. What? Yeah, container with 8 guys living in there in bunk beds, and 2 of us are in the UFC now. And there's Dan Holt, who's with me, who's come out with me this week. Dan's had to put up with a lot with me this week. I believe he'll be on Contender Series next season. So it's all paid off. We've been in the trenches together, and now we're coming up together.
Congratulations, man. That's great to hear.
So when you guys are arguing over space and who gets what, do you just have to give it to Atiba, or how does that work?
Oh yeah. It was pretty even before Atiba got there. We had it was like a community, I'll do that, and come on, mate, clean up after yourself. And then Atiba turns up, and it's like, well, I'll clean up after you, Atiba. Yeah, don't worry, you do what you want, mate. You do what you want. I'll clean up after you.
I feel like the Contender Series is a great learning experience for fighters when they're getting to really see the UFC and how it operates. Do you feel like the whole thing that you had to go with the weight cut and maybe the lack of access to resources over at the Palace Station maybe caused a little something, and those some of the things that you're going to maybe learn going forward, that the weight cut won't be such an issue this time around?
Yeah, every fight's a learning process. First time in the States ever for me, so everything's different. The food's different. Yep. I don't even know what to eat. I know the meat's a bit dodgy in the supermarkets out here, so I didn't really know what to do. Yeah, I've heard. I mean, we're a lot of farms in England. I've not seen many farms out here, but yeah, it's all a learning experience. So I'll just take it with me and go forward.
Yeah, and then you mentioned that as the fight was going on, you really sort of found your strike and you found yourself in the third round. At what point did you feel like you were back into the fight and that you were feeling like you normally would feel? Because it definitely, you could see where you kind of got into the flow in that third round.
Yeah, just when I just let my body take over and stop thinking about making everything perfect. Like I said earlier at the start, you want everything to be so precise and bang on, and things come out a bit forced, but then I'll just let my training take over and my instincts, and then it would game over then.
Yeah. How does an Englishman celebrate his debut signing with the UFC in Vegas?
I'm definitely going for a pint with my dad. That is definitely how we're going to celebrate, yeah.
That's
Nice
incredible.
pint.
Congrats on that.
Right here. So I saw that you were a DJ and a producer for house music. How did you get into that?
Yeah,
And
so
what's that about? Because I was pretty surprised.
yeah, so there was a small time where, like, between me just turning pro and moving to Manchester, where I'd sort of didn't know if I wanted to be a fighter because it had all I'd ever done since I was like 5 years old. I was sort of like, am I just doing this because this is all I've ever done, or is this what I want? And I'm like, well, I like raves and house music, and so I'll have a go at that. So for a bit, I were like DJing on the local circuit and making dance music. And after a while, like this is not the same. This is not as good. Like, so then my old man got a call off Princey saying, "What's Louis doing? Why is he not training?" He's like, "Oh, he's gonna be a DJ now. He didn't want to be a fighter anymore." And he was like, "What? What do you mean? Send him to Manchester?" And then now we're here. So yeah, I'm not DJing anymore. But yeah.
Well, if you want to start again, you wouldn't be the first fighter to try their hand in
No,
music.
no.
So you said it post-fight, but this has been a lifelong journey for you. I mean, from Muay Thai to IMMAFs to Aries to now here. I mean, looking back on everything, this is a week of firsts as well. You're the first UFC fighter from Leeds. This is your first time fighting in the U.S. Does it all make that journey worth it? Everything you've went through, is it all worth it now looking back, having all these milestones that you got on your way to getting to the UFC?
Yeah, 100%. But like, you got to enjoy the journey. The journey's the good bit. Obviously, signing your name on a piece of paper that's got Dana White's name on it is great. But it's the whole bit in between that's the good bit. You got to enjoy the journey because that's all we've got really. You know, the moments make it great, but the journey's the bit you've got to enjoy the most.